friends, and welcome back to the best Christmas yet. Thank you so much for following along and for being part of this channel. It really means so much to me. I've seen a common thread going around social media and it seems to induce the most anxiety during the festive season, and that is the whole topic of catering for Christmas dinner. So many people are having a panic because they've got family coming over, or this is the first time they're hosting Christmas dinner, and they really are just struggling to get their head around all the questions, how they do things, and how they, cater for such a large number of people. And what I've done is I've collated a list of the most frequently asked questions that I keep seeing, and I'm going to address those in this video. Let's talk about turkeys. People keep asking, what size turkey do I buy? I've got this many people coming around. The simple answer is, if you're buying your turkey from a supermarket, it will state on the packaging how many people that turkey will feed. If you're buying your turkey from the butchers, you can then ask them when you order your turkey and say, I'm having X many people around, what size turkey would you recommend? I would recommend when you order your turkey or when you buy your turkey to get a slightly bigger turkey than you think you will need, so that you can use some of those leftovers if that is something that you would enjoy doing. Also, it is important to note that turkeys are actually cheaper to buy as a whole turkey rather than buying a turkey crown, even if it is only a turkey crown that you really need. The turkey crowns are more expensive per kilogram because they have been prepared. They have had something done to them, if you see what I mean, to make them more easy to cook or to feed a smaller crowd. But they are more expensive per kilogram. When you have an entire turkey, you can use what you need on Christmas Day and then pull the rest of the meat off the carcass, use the carcass to make stock, and use the rest of the meat. You can freeze it. You can do all sorts of things with your turkey leftovers. You can make them into pie. You can use it to make use it as you would chicken, really. So you can make them into wraps. You can do curry. You can do stir fry. You can do anything that you can use chicken for, you can use turkey for. They basically are interchangeable. This taste is very similar, so you can use those turkey leftovers for anything else. The next question I see a lot of on social media is, what's the best way to cook a turkey so that it comes out moist, it comes out flavorful? My advice for this is not to reinvent the wheel. Go onto the website of your favorite celebrity chef and look up how they prepare their Christmas turkey. There should be a recipe free on their website. If you're interested and you really do support them, go and get their Christmas book. Most celebrity chefs have a Christmas cookbook, and follow the directions. It's that simple. If you don't subscribe to, or you don't enjoy watching celebrity chefs on the telly, or you don't have any of their books, you don't want to go on their website, why not go to the website of British Turkey? They have loads of tips on there. They have a calculator for defrosting, for how long to defrost your turkey for, depending on the size, how long to cook your turkey for, depending on the size. There's a calculator for that, and there are tips for how to cook your turkey. The website is www.britishturkey.org.uk. That is the one-stop shop for everything turkey. The next question is, why do I have to rest my turkey after it's cooked? Can I just cut it straight away and can we carve it straight away and serve it? Yes, you could. But when I researched this so that I could give you a precise answer, the BBC website had this to say: leave your turkey to rest for at least 30 minutes after roasting to allow the juices to redistribute themselves and the meat fibers to relax. Otherwise, you will have a dry bird, and you can extend this resting time for up to 1.5 hours. So the best way, once your turkey has been taken out of the oven, is to wrap the entire oven dish, tent it quite well with thick aluminium foil, tin foil, and make sure that you keep it in a warm place. So, I mean, I wouldn't go and stick it in your bed, but, put it somewhere in the kitchen where it's warmish and it's out of the way. And then you can leave that to rest while you crack on with making your roast potatoes and getting the rest of the Christmas dinner pulled together. And then, a few minutes before you're going to serve Christmas dinner, you can ask somebody to start carving, or you can carve. That meat will be juicy, tender, beautiful, and delicious. Let's talk about side dishes. One of the most commonly asked questions is, how do you make the best crispy roast potatoes for Christmas Day? Some people swear by goose fat. Some people swear by specific techniques. This is the way I do it. And I have never had horrible, miserable roast potatoes. We in England mostly have a roast dinner at least once a week where we will have roast potatoes. And the best way that I found to do it is actually the way that I found out from Jamie Oliver. And that is to peel your potatoes and parboil them. So you parboil the potatoes for 5, maybe 6 minutes or so until they start to, they're not cooked all the way through, until they start to look a bit fluffy on the outsides. Drain them, shake them in the shake them in the colander as you've drained them, and then pop them into your oven pan with the oil and salt, pepper, and roast them until they are lovely and crispy and delicious. It's this parboiling that not only speeds up the cooking time for the roast potatoes, but also makes sure that the edges get lovely and crisp and delicious. This is the best way to do it. I'm not sure about cooking sprays and how that would affect the fluffiness and the crispiness of the potatoes. If you do use cooking spray on a regular basis for your roast potatoes, let me know down below in the comments box how that turns out, because I'm keen to try that too. The next few questions about Christmas dinner are general ones, so I've lumped them all together in one category. The first question is, how do you get everything done and served on Christmas Day? I think people really have such an anxiety about getting everything cooked on time and served and making sure that it's all done well. And the only way I find to do this is to have a timetable. I have taken the timetable from Jamie Oliver's website and I have tailored it to my own needs. So I might not serve everything that Jamie serves on Christmas Day, but I have used his timetable on his website as a guide and then created my own, and I just reuse the same one every year. What you cook on Christmas Day will depend on what your family likes, so it's just dependent. What I really would suggest is you go onto your favorite celebrity chef's website, whether that's Gordon Ramsay, Jamie, Nigella, whoever it is, and find out. They should have a breakdown on their website or in their Christmas cookbook of how they break down what they're making and how the timings for those things on Christmas Day, and then you can follow that. Or if you're not making the exact same menu, you can tailor it to your needs. The next question I've seen is, what do I do if Christmas lunch is taking longer than expected? There seems to be an anxiety around, making sure that everything is 100% cooked on time, but let's be reasonable. Things don't always work out that way. Something always happens, and sometimes these things take a little bit longer. Quality does take a bit longer. So people are asking, what do you do if things are taking a bit longer and everyone's grumpy, everyone's hungry and everyone's had a few too many to drink on the Christmas bubbly? How do you manage a situation like this? The best thing to do is to make sure that you've got some snacks on hand. You don't want anything too heavy because Christmas lunch is coming up. So I would serve some soft drinks and get out some mince pies, maybe get out a cheese board and some crackers, maybe some crisps or some nuts, so people can dip in and sort of just tide themselves over until Christmas lunch is ready, or Christmas dinner. It depends on when you have your Christmas meal. If your question hasn't been covered here, I'm going to leave a link to the BBC Good Food website's troubleshooting page for Christmas festivities and Christmas dinner questions. They seem to have covered so many of the most common questions, and I'm sure you'll find your answer there. The next thing I wanted to really discuss and to really just put out there are some of my observations and tips for Christmas Day. I think we really, really stress out so much about this, but there are some, very, very basic and very, very easy ways to make sure that Christmas dinner is not an absolute stressful nightmare. My first observation is that Christmas dinner is basically just a massive roast dinner. Most people in England do a roast chicken or a roast pork or roast beef almost every single Sunday of the year. But when it comes to Christmas dinner, we tend to just completely and totally lose the plot. And suddenly it has to be extra special this and extra special that. And people, people get so fretful about what it is that they are trying to cook, and they're trying to make things extra special. In reality, most families don't want extra special gravy and extra special this. They know and love what they have every week. And while you don't necessarily want to make it the same as every week, try not to put so much pressure on yourself. Try and do one of the dishes to be extra special, and the rest, does it matter if you serve Bisto gravy if that is what your family knows and loves? Absolutely not. At the end of the day, a turkey is just a glorified chicken. It's a massive, massive chicken. So you can cook it in a very similar way. There are loads of guides out there. There are loads of advice out there at the moment. If you wanted to, you could just go and look on the telly, and they've got cooking channels showing Christmas meals all the time, and you can pick up some tips if you really wanted to. But please do not stress. You do this every single week. And if you don't do a Christmas dinner every single week, think about it. It's just roast chicken, big roast chicken, and vegetable sides. My second observation is that this is not a competition to see who can make the most elaborate meal at Christmas. Your house is not Buckingham Palace. You're not having this Earl and this Sheik and everybody else coming to your house for Christmas dinner. You're having your family, your friends, possibly other loved ones coming round to have a meal at your house. And yes, try to make it the best that you can, but your Christmas dinner doesn't have to be Instagram worthy. It doesn't have to win an award. It just has to be the best that you can produce without making yourself sick with worry and stress. Number 3, if you can, prep ahead as much as possible. I have some videos that I've done about batching, freezing ahead some of the Christmas side dishes, like pigs and blankets, which is just, in our family, we do chipolata wrapped bacon, bacon wrapped chipolata. In the same video, you'll find a stuffing recipe. I've done recipes on side dishes. You can make these things ahead of time and get them in the freezer, and then most of them can actually be cooked on Christmas Day from frozen. So you don't have to stress about trying to get these things prepared and waking up at the crack of dawn on Christmas Day to get prepared and get into the kitchen. This is your Christmas too, and you need to also spend time with your family on Christmas Day rather than being stuck in the kitchen. If you really haven't got time to make your items ahead of time and batch freeze them, or make them on Christmas Day, then do yourself a favor and buy them from your favorite store. M&S does some fantastic roast sides that you can just buy. Get everything bought pre-prepared and then just cook them on Christmas Day. I will advise though, I did this one year because I was just absolutely exhausted. I had my appendix out a month before, and I really wasn't feeling up to my usual self. So I bought side dishes from my supermarket to have with our Christmas meats. And one thing I would say is that you have to kind of put them all into the oven at very similar times and very similar temperatures. And I overloaded my oven with too many things at once, and that reduced the cooking time. That reduced the temperature in the oven, so things took longer to cook. So I would just make that observation that if you are going to go that route, make sure that you don't overload your oven. Number 5 is, if you're having family and friends coming over for Christmas this year, get them to bring a dish. If you know them well enough for them to come around and celebrate with you on Christmas Day, which is the most important holiday of the year for most people, then you know them well enough to ask them to bring a dish. Get your mum to bring the sprouts or the dessert. Get your nan to bring the Christmas pudding. Get your sister to bring some side dishes or a cheese board or something, anything. Get them to help, and that means there's less for you to do on Christmas Day. If you're really strapped for time, get a combo. Do a combo. Get some dishes bought in from your supermarket already prepared. Get your sister to bring the Christmas pudding, and you do the rest. This is not a competition. This is not everything has to be homemade. Otherwise, people are going to, look down their noses at you and, oh, well, this wasn't homemade. Well, if they want it homemade, they can make it themselves. Easy. And I know that sounds like I'm being very glib, and I know that sounds like I'm being very a bit hard, But at the end of the day, you don't want to be stuck on Christmas Day in the kitchen all day, miss out on the festivities, and be crying in the washing up afterwards thinking, well, that was Christmas Day, I didn't enjoy a single thing about it. I've been there, I've done that. It's horrible, especially when you've planned and you've enjoyed looking forward to it all that time, only for Christmas Day to be a massive letdown. Number 7, just as I was saying, don't be a martyr. Get your sister to, make sure she's on drinks. Get your brother on drinks duty. Make sure that he's making sure that everyone's got a drink. Get your sister in the kitchen helping you to, prepare the sprouts. Your dad can carve the turkey, or your husband can carve the turkey. Nanny can keep the kids busy, occupied while you guys are in the kitchen. Get everybody doing something. People don't expect to come around your house and not see you at all on Christmas Day because you're tucked into the kitchen and they're sitting there sort of making polite conversation. People want to be involved. It should be a family affair. It's not they're coming round to a restaurant. They're coming round to your home to spend Christmas Day with you, not to spend Christmas Day with a grumpy and neurotic martyr who is absolutely miserable and absolutely on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Get everybody involved and you will have a much more enjoyable Christmas Day. I really hope that I've been able to give you some tips and give you some ideas of how you can make your Christmas dinner less of a stress this year. All the links will be left down in the comment section below, and if you have any other questions, leave them down below and I will try my best to try and find some answers for your question, and that way hopefully you can have a less stressed Christmas. Friends, my Christmas wish this year is to get to 1,000 subscribers. At the moment, I am about 150 subscribers away from my Christmas wish. I really, really urge you, if you enjoy these videos and if you find value in the content, please hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss anything else and that you stay for the ride for the rest of the Christmas season. Until next time, friends, keep calm and be merry.